All right, what is up, Raider Nation?
Ben Johnson.
Let's go Raiders.
What's good, Raiders?
Oh man,
We got exciting news. You know, the Chargers and the Broncos lost in the same week. Now we gotta pray for KC to lose, and then our trifecta is done.
what a God, that was so nice. Finally, and the Broncos, not only did they lose, they got destroyed.
But
Well, the Chargers got beat pretty bad too.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston took it to them.
so their strength of schedule was inflated because they all beat each other, and they didn't beat anybody else. So the Denver Broncos only beat one winning team all year. That's it. That sounds insanity, but that's how easy their schedule was. They beat one winning team, and it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 3. That's it. That's the only winning team to beat all year. And the Chargers beat the Broncos. and
then they got 2 free wins against the Raiders.
Yeah, and then they beat they beat the Bengals. So the Chargers beat struggling. The Chargers beat 2 teams with a winning record. That's it. So when you go into a postseason with a 3-14 record against winning teams, you're not going to do well.
Man. Yeah, and then the Chiefs resting all their players in the final game, that was another bye right there for them.
How many?
I didn't count that week in Denver's wins, by the way. So people were we beat the Chiefs. I'm you beat Carson Wentz. That's what you did.
How many actual teams did they play with winning records?
Denver, they were 1-7.
Oh, that's shit.
Yeah. The Chargers, I can actually look it up. I believe they were 3-5 or something like that.
To the Chargers' credit, though, they're not like these. The Bronco fans are just obnoxious and I don't know where they came from because they weren't like this before.
No, they've been hiding for the past 9 years. So
yeah,
and we
in Denver they were. Dude. It was pretty bad in Denver. That
last game.
That last game. Just because we beat them 8 in a row, and it was just they popped the zit, whatever you want to call it, and they're just calm down.
Yeah. I was in the handicap section for the Denver game, so nobody talked shit to me. So
you weren't the Packer fan.
No, but yeah, so this is the funniest part. So after they lost, this is how creepy people are. There was a picture with me in my boot on my scooter and on Twitter or something. Denver fans had it screenshotted and reposted it and said, better luck next time. Because I said Raiders by 50, fuck the Broncos, something stupid, just some dumb thing in the parking lot to say. And it got retweeted so many times. I'm that picture's 3 months old. Why are you looking through my stuff that's 3 months old? That is weird. That's just creepy to me, man.
Oh yeah, people have nothing but time. I don't know where they find it, but you will get people who one time I said when Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce first became official. I posted on Facebook. I was look at Kelce out here catching 6s on the field and off the field. And people were sending me pictures, not sending, but they were commenting. They were pictures from 2014, 2015. They're this you? I'm yeah, actually, if you think I was ugly then, you should see me now.
I know. We just laugh about that because people was oh, you're ugly. Your mustache sucks. I'm cool, that's the best you got, and then you see people. Joe's the king of talking shit. It's so funny. And it's Joe's I know I'm fat. What else do you have? That's all they got, and it's just yes, I get winded going up the stairs. Leave me alone.
You know what? Joe makes fun of himself before anyone else gets a chance.
Yeah. Oh no, you should see the DMs he gets.
Oh yeah, no.
I show them to Jem because Jem gets some pretty bad messages as well. And she was God, poor Joe. He gets the worst of the worst.
Dude, I was watching this Gabriel Iglesias comedy thing on Netflix, Fluffy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he got stuck in a ride at Disneyland, and like it went on Twitter, and just the comments were freaking vicious. You know,
Oh, man, I could imagine.
it was hilarious. Though he started reading some of them. I was like, that's good
Yeah.
shit.
For me, it's mustache. That's the main thing they make fun of, and then this douchebag, like I look like a douche. That one all the time, and then they say things about me being white, and just like the new thing is white privilege, or I've been called a colonizer like 15 times. I had to look it up and know what it meant, and I was like,
colonizer.
That's because Kendrick Lamar mentioned it, and there you go.
Yeah. They're like, you're a colonizer. I'm like, what? And I like Google it. I'm like, oh, because I'm white. And I was like, and I always laugh because I have with Terry, for example, John knows Terry. His family's been here longer than mine, and I was like, I just look like I belong here. That's one of our jokes is Hispanic, and when I get comments like that, I'm like, dude, I'm only second generation here, man. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, there's some toxic comments out there, man. It's getting worse too.
Speaking of Terry, did I ever tell you about the time where he got a little offended? Like, it was when we like first started, like when I first met him, and it was like not Thanksgiving, Christmas, and my family had tamales, but I was at work, so when I got home from work, I just grabbed like a cookie sheet and I like grabbed a handful and I put them on the cookie sheet and I put them in the oven, and then I had them on the table and I took a picture of the tamales on the cookie sheet and I put a la verga con un plato tengo hambre, which is like, starving. And he got offended because he thought I was mocking Mexicans. He didn't realize I was Mexican.
Nobody knows that.
You're pretty pale.
Yeah, I'm.
In their defense.
No, I think actually, so some Mexicans have told me it's because I'm tall, and Mexicans aren't tall. And I'm like, I'm sure there's some, and it's not like I'm like gigantic tall. I'm like 6'1". It's not like I'm just hovering over everybody.
Oh, so because we had Raider Alex on, and the first thing he said is like that because he doesn't know people's faces. So he's a young kid, by the way. He's probably like I didn't ask him, 23, 24. He's young.
Oh wow.
And I asked him, I'm like, these people are. He's like, I go to a couple. He lives in Oregon. He's like, I've been to a couple games. I was like, these people are these super fans. There's kind of people we roll with and hang out with. And he knows Jim as the one that cooks. And he's like, you're the tall, bald guy. And I was like, yes, that's him. I was like, he used to dress up. He's like, oh, I remember that because he's young. Like a lot of these people that have these faceless profiles, like they're like 22, 23. Like I met Raiders with Marcos the first time at the event where he proposed. He's like a 22-year-old kid. And I'm like, oh, what's up, dude? It's like, but I feel old.
Did you guys see the thing about that Philly fan that was going after the Green Bay girl?
He got fired.
What did he do? What did he? Oh, I saw the clip of it. He was just being a dick.
No, I saw what he did verbally, but what job did he hold that fired him?
It showed he worked in hospitality for some hotels, and his latest job was,
it's like some DEI friendly job, and they were like, oh, we got to get rid of him.
I mean, if my work ever saw what I said, I don't know what would happen. I'm sure they have.
I mean, dude, I get with the Eagles, banning them and all that shit. Man, this the cancel culture, people losing their jobs, shit's crazy.
Yeah, I can understand if you're a teacher or something or a public figure, something along those lines. But yeah, if you're like, working at McDonald's and you cut somebody out and you get fired for that, that's it's kind of overstepping your boundaries.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Or an Amazon driver or whatever it happens to be. I mean, unless you're just, a spokesperson for the opposite of what you know what I mean? Like, unless you're being total hypocrite on something, then.
So that brings me up on an interesting topic that I would love to discuss. I posted on X. I got a lot of heat for it. I'm a firm believer if you're a felon, misdemeanor, whatever the case may be, you have every right to work in the U.S. People probably don't see that when I look at me and think I think that way. But I posted Henry Ruggs is up for parole. And I was like, a team should sign him. NFL should work with him, have him do a huge PR campaign, have him apologize every day for the rest of his life what he's did, and they can make an example out of him and he actually go back and help people. I was like, but he has a right to try to reestablish his family life and work. And I probably got like maybe 5,000 comments on that. It was just harassing me, calling me a POS and everything. But that brings me to the point, like he did something horrendous and now people don't want to let him work. But I was like, if I go out and get a DUI tomorrow, I'm going to be at work Monday morning. So it's just, I don't know. It was kind of one of those funny things. Like,
I mean, when you say, felony, I think, there's different degrees of felonies.
Yeah. Someone did, someone died, and that can't be understated. But I mean, in principle, I do believe in second chances. I do believe in people to, get their act together. Because there's a lot of great success stories that would never have happened to people to get second chances.
Oh, there's multiple NFL players that were drug users that they're
and I mean, not just NFL, but just in our whole, tons of examples in our world of people went on to do great things that fucked up early in life.
Yeah,
that's not uncommon.
You ever heard that one of the speeches Nick Saban did was pertaining to Ruggs after the event happened, and he's like, this is just a dumb kid making dumb things. Like he was a good kid, no problems, no history, no priors, no drinking. Like was the excellent teammate and person prior to all this happening. And he's like, people make mistakes. He's like, let that be an example to you not to do things like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
I got a lot of heat for that over the past week, and it just keeps getting shared on Twitter. And
I think the biggest part of it, the most important component, I mean, obviously, the weight of the crime matters, but I think just some maliciousness, in his heart. Was he trying to be a bad guy? Was he going out there and being sadistic? Or did he just get fucked up and fuck up? You know what I mean? Like he wasn't trying to kill. You know what I mean? So I think that is the overriding thing that matters if you're trying to.
And he should lose a massive amount of money in a civil suit, a massive amount for the rest. of
yeah. I mean, not that they're the same. They're not the same thing, but Michael Vick, a bunch of dogs got killed. All that shit that went down, and he did time for it. I don't know how much or how serious it was, but I do remember he went to jail and then he came out and he went back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right.
So with, I remember specifically there was the Stallworth incident and Michael Vick that kind of happened about the same time. Do you know about Stallworth, what he did or no with the Saints?
Dante Stallworth?
Was it Stallworth? But a Saints player, same thing, DUI, hit somebody, killed him, and was back playing almost immediately. And more people were focused on Michael Vick and the dogs. And so some commentators were talking about that they were more focused on the animals, like they care more about animals than they do people, because Vic was chastised, and this guy that literally just had I want to say it was a homeless person or something like that. I'd have to look at the story. It was a long time ago, but it didn't really go national. It was on the news for a little bit and then just went away, and then he was playing again. So like,
you know what?
Yeah.
That's actually a perfect example of what I was just talking about as far as maliciousness, someone who fights dogs and does something dark like that. I mean, to what people love dogs and pets, and you just sort of, that's more villainous than someone being really stupid and irresponsible. Yeah. And now if they're a repeat offender, drunk driving, and you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. I don't know. I see the drunk driving is a one-off incident where the other one is a repetitive thing.
Oh, yep. It was struck and killed a pedestrian in 2009, and he played until 2013. He was playing that year and then played for the Ravens, got signed.
Wow.
Who was that? Who was that?
Know about this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people. Yeah, he got DUI manslaughter.
What's his name?
Dante Stallworth. Because I remember that and the big thing were both going on about the same time. And they use that as an example. Michael Vick. Michael Vick was 2007. This was 2009. So they're both kind of pending at the same time. Yeah.
Do you know any of the details on the Ray Lewis, that whole shit that went down?
Yeah, nobody talked.
I mean, that was.
I know it was. Somebody got killed.
Well, we didn't see shit. That's everything that happened. Like we didn't see
Ray Lewis was like this, so he didn't do it.
But. Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, it depends what gets the spotlight and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, people don't even know about Dante Stallworth. He was suspended for a year, had to pay some fines, pay bail, lost a civil case, but he was back playing in the Super Bowl like the next year. I think he actually had a Super Bowl ring. Let me look that up with the Saints too. I remember specifically because I had somebody yell at me.
Yeah, I remember Stalwart.
Yeah, because I remember specifically because I got yelled at somebody that was a dog lover, and I was like, Michael Vick killed a dog and he killed a person. There's a big difference there. Would you be upset if your dog died or your child died? You can replace one, can't replace the other. And yeah, I remember that specifically. So I hope to do some videos on it. I was like, I'm gonna let it rest for a little bit, but yeah, it's just one of those things that kind of like poke me in the side when it comes to football.
That's almost as crazy as
Well, ironically, one last note on that: Henry Ruggs did both. He killed a dog and a person.
Oof.
They should never come back. When did he do the dogs? Was it
no? There was a dog in the riding with a girl. The girl who got killed, she had a dog with her.
Oh, okay.
So,
gotcha. Excuse me. Well, we can go on a happier note. We can talk about our GM search.
That's great.
There's all kinds of little supposed leaks on X. People saying stuff without saying anything, like, wow, what I just got texted and blah blah blah, but they won't respond. Confound on it. I mean, is Ben Johnson our guy? Is that or is this just all speculation?
So it's probably speculation because he can't confirm anything because it's tampering until the end of the season for the Lions. So
right.
Can't
well,
commit.
not only that, but like, how are they even saying like it's picking up steam? Like, if they can't talk to him right now, how is it picking up steam?
Well, I mean, they did an interview. They did an interview, and there could be some back channel communication going on that's not necessarily tampering, but
like he tells somebody, I really enjoyed my interview. Tom Brady made a good point, and that gets back to them, stuff like that. But they can't confirm or deny anything really right now. Spytek out, so Spytek has his second interview with Raiders. But like I've been saying this all week, it sounds silly, but we have the most appealing job because we have the most cap space, we have a highest draft pick, we have no GM and no offensive coordinator. He gets to choose this, and he gets to build a team. He gets to be the man. Everywhere else has some of those components already filled. So the Bears,
and you have to work with what they got, right?
Exactly. Jacksonville is completely unappealing to me. There's no damn way he goes there because you got to deal with Trevor Lawrence, who probably is not going to be anything but an above-average quarterback with flashes of being good, kind of like an Eli, but with less talent. And then they already have a GM, so he's not going to do that. The Bears have Caleb Williams, which I think he has a lot of bright side, but Kingsbury wants to call plays. Ben Johnson wants to call plays. What's going to happen there? So unless
they got the GM problem.
Yeah, they have a GM too. That's
Well, but they're saying that damn, what's his name? Damn, I can't think of his name. Like TC, I think, or his initials. Yeah, but they're saying that he's probably going to get one more year. So if you're a head coach, do you really want to go somewhere where the GM is only going to be there for a year? No.
Yeah. That's, he's going to get the same amount of money wherever he goes. It just depends what he gets to build. We saw this last year. Mark Davis is starting to take a step back. He needs to put the team in the right hands, and he's doing that probably with Seymour. Seymour and Brady are going to be to evaluate people. There's not a doubt in my mind.
They have a few people like in the hiring process now. I read.
Yeah. They've interviewed a few GMs. They requested multiple. They interviewed multiple coaches. Vrabel's off the tables, so it's
$15 million a year, probably.
It's us, Bears or Jags for Johnson. That's the realization of it. We haven't even requested Cohen yet. That's the other problem. I don't know why we haven't requested to interview him. There's all that smoke around it, but
maybe they don't want to waste time because they already know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because the other coaches we interviewed, Carroll's the only one that's
like that you would consider.
Yeah, other than that, it's like, okay, we're gonna have another 4-13 season next year. I'm just like, man. But I think if we get Ben Johnson, they're gonna tell him, hey, we're gonna go get a quarterback. Like, we're gonna let you trade away part of our future to go get somebody. You have an open reign, and that's what he'll want. He'll want to go out and get his guy. So we'll see if he does that.
We got a good question right here. If and when Ben is hired, do you think he'll bring in Sam Howell or Hendon Hooker?
So Sam Howell under Eric Bieniemy did good. He was leading the league in passing for quite some time, threw for 4,000 yards. Problem is he turns over the ball like crazy. Hooker's unproven. Between him and AOC, I think AOC is a better quarterback. Hooker has a strong arm, more athletic, but he hasn't played. So that's the problem. Everybody was high. So this is what frustrates me. Those 3rd to 5th round picks, everybody's high on them because they're like super athletic, or this guy can throw a ball on his knees 80 yards. We always talk about Jamarcus. Yeah. Hooker, everybody was a high on Hooker because they're like, he has a cannon, he's athletic, but look what happens in the NFL. It doesn't do shit. Spencer Rattler was supposed to be the quarterback of the future, and look how well he's doing. It's just these 3rd to 5th round quarterbacks do not fare well in the NFL. It's not a thing. In the AFC, the only quarterback that was playing that wasn't drafted in the first round was, oh my God, brain fart, kisses babies, Seattle, Wilson. Other than that, every quarterback was a first round guy. So I don't want any late round quarterbacks. I just don't. It's not a thing. You miss more than you hit, way more.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna get a quarterback, I want them to go get Campbell.
When somebody introduced the idea of bringing in Hendon Hooker, because he's been grooming him for 2 years, I was like, that's not a bad idea. But then somebody else pointed out, well, they just signed Teddy Bridgewater for the second stringer. If Hendon Hooker is doing good, they aren't going to sign Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. And
So
Goff's
like,
not gonna hurt. But Hooker's 27. He's older than fucking AOC.
Wow, he's older than Bo Nix.
Yeah. Yeah, so what? He came out in 23. So he came out at 25. He's one of those quarterbacks that played forever.
Yeah, COVID ruined everything for all these quarterbacks. They got like 10 years of eligibility now.
Yeah, I think he was a freshman in 2016 or 17 and then graduated in 2023. Like,
God.
All these quarterbacks have like 6-year careers. They're like, yeah, they're gonna do good. They're grown ass man.
You got a little Hooker jersey in LV though, huh?
Like, yeah.
I would be the first one to get it. I mean, off the bat, like that Hooker.
God, what number would it be?
Oh, it'd have to be 69. He has
Wouldn't it? Right?
I think that'd be the
just
number one
0.
Hooker. Can a quarterback be 0? I don't think they can. I think they're 1 to 19.
1 through like
something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Can they be in the 20s? I don't think they can be in the 20s.
I can't think of any.
Yeah. What was it? The kicker for oh God, I was laughing. The kicker for Notre Dame was like number 98. We're like, oh, he comes out. I'm like, we're just laughing. So I watched Notre Dame games, but I don't remember their kicker. I was like, I don't know. So apparently he's horrible. He went 500 for the kicking field goals. And we're all laughing because we're doing our fantasy draft for playoffs. And we see this kicker come out 98. We're like, oh, he's going to fuck something up. Look at his number. My kicker is number 98. And then they show his stats. He's like 7 for 14 on the year. I was like, oh, he's missing.
Yeah, is that the one that he was injured early on in the year, but then he did good in the game?
Yeah, and in the playoffs, he was like 7 for 9 or something. So he was lights on the 2 games prior, but I don't know. I just think it's funny. With the Washington kicker is like 43 or something like that. It's a weird number to have.
just random numbers.
Yeah, it's I mean, if I was the kicker, I'd be like, do 99. Just do it for the shit of it. This little skinny dude that weighs 180 pounds and defensive lineman number. It looks funny.
And I forgot to mention this earlier, but Jem is no longer going to be on the show for a while.
Oh, what happened?
She has in person, I thought it was online, but it's in person moot court for her law school from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays.
Oh,
yeah.
What's that for the next 6 or 8 weeks?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
it's for the boys.
Yeah, hard pass on Darnold. I hear you there.
Darnold.
Yeah. Do you see the estimates from his game? How much money he lost?
Oh,
Sport Track and agents were estimating he lost between $40 and $60 million with that performance.
Oh,
The last 2 games against
man.
Minnesota and against the Rams. Yeah,
Yep. They thought he was going to get. They're like, okay, if he plays well, wins a playoff game, he's going to get a top tier quarterback. Now they're saying he's going to get like probably 10th to 20th money, which is mid tier, which is like a $40 to $60 million drop overall. And I was like, they're like Darnold played himself out of like $50 million with those last 2 games. But
Man.
I was like, oh, that's so much money.
Yeah,
But,
ouch.
yeah.
Wow.
I can see that. That's the thing. We all thought Darnold was going to leave. We all thought McCarthy was going to leave. We thought they're going to be traded. But you see his performance, they're going to keep McCarthy. Watch. They're going to keep him. There's no reason for them to trade him because if Darnold comes out and lays an egg again or does poor next season, McCarthy's going to be in, and there's the end of that. And Darnold's not going to be a starter again, unless it's like a journeyman.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to let him go. I mean, as well as they played that season to 14 wins or whatever, and then to just
The playoffs
be one and done.
Yeah. No,
At a neutral site, by the way. It wasn't even the Rams weren't even at home.
Which I'm mad because I wanted to go to the game, and I'm like, no, I'm not flying to Arizona. So I was like, I'm gonna go to a playoff game finally. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And
on top of that, there was they said 49% Viking fans and 51% Rams fans, which I felt was kind of unfair for the Rams. Like, you're losing a home game and they like sold tickets to Viking fans.
Yeah, the tickets weren't expensive. There was like middle row, like in the 200s, like $150. I was like, dude, that's so cheap for a playoff game.
Yeah, no, they were cheap, and I saw a thing when they went on sale, and I was like, if only I gave a shit, but I ain't going.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to fly to Arizona. That's the only thing. It's only like a 2-hour flight, but I have an hour to the airport, then I lose an hour. I was like, I'm gonna take a day off. I don't want to do that. I would rather just drive down there and drive back. And I was like, But,
I'd have to tie in some golf if I'm going to Arizona. Make it a 3 or 4 or 5 day thing.
Yeah,
I didn't have time for that.
So
why not go after JJ? Oh, what?
I was gonna say the only way the Rams can host a playoff game is if the Commanders win, right? Is that it? Because they're the lower seed.
I didn't really look at them, but
yeah, if the Rams win and the Commanders win, then yes, it would be the Rams would host.
Oh, cool.
I wonder if Chargers go to the game. They're like, oh, we get to see a playoff game, a team that can win. That'd be pretty cool.
Dude, I went to Charger playoff game when they played the Jets back in I want to say it was 2006, maybe something like that. Marty Ball, LaDainian Tomlinson. They were fucking dude.
Is that when they were like 15-1 or something, and they got knocked out?
They had the game in hand, and fourth quarter, what was they were doing for 3 quarters was working. It was fine. Fourth quarter, Marty Ball, he just got conservative and he pulled Getsy shit. Draw play, punt. And I just watched the game slip out of their hands. The Jets won. Charger fans are fighting each other. And I'm walking around with my Marcus Allen jersey going, fuck you guys. That was great.
Didn't they have they had the number 1 ranked offense that year, didn't they?
Oh yeah. No, it was like
no way the Jets 1,000-yard wide receivers, Winslow.
Dude, the Jets had no business winning that game, and the Chargers, charging it away.
Yeah.
We need a new insult because they're starting like that's old. You saying us we have no rings. That's like, but at the same time, I'm like, but you don't like.
Well, every year it gets older, but it's true.
It's never truer than it has. It's always the same amount of valid, true. Until they gotta break the curse until they win one.
My favorite had go.
My friend had a shirt, and it was like the Chargers, like win, lose, or forfeit over 60 years and nothing to show for it. I was like, damn.
Oh my god. I like calling them the Clippers of the NFL. That's my favorite thing.
Oh god, who did I just? Oh, my next door neighbor just said that we're working out. He goes, "There's the fucking Clippers of the NFL." He likes
the Clippers of LA, and they're like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, what? I'm like, you have no fucking rings, and you're the second. I was like, you're the 3rd most popular team in LA, and you're going over here.
It might even be the 4th or 5th because UCLA and Trojans are pretty popular out here.
The two soccer teams, the 2 soccer teams might be more popular.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the LAFC. That's shit.
Wild.
We were joking. I was talking to a couple of my buddies. we'd laugh. We were deciding because like there's not very many content creators for the Chargers, and probably NFL Mike's one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And I joked, I was like, I would think NFL Mike was an AI generation if I didn't meet him in person already.
The Chargers, they actually like it's pretty easy to get field like media credentials for the Chargers because they're like so desperate to get people to cover them.
I mean, I would fake it just to get on the field. I mean, I just wear a black t-shirt. No blue or anything. Maybe wear an LA hat or something. But
we went there when the Titans played the Chargers because Jem's cousin plays for the Titans. And that's probably like one of the only the Titans they suck, man. I don't know if we could beat them, but they're bad.
Dude,
I think we could beat them this year because Will Levis is
the Falcons. When we played the Falcons were absolute trash. The Saints were trash. The Jaguars, I mean, we were a train wreck too, but it was just there's so many bad teams this year. I felt like the difference between the bad teams and the good teams was just miles.
so much.
Yeah.
They're just so far apart. The Jets, just disaster.
And both of them are leaving now, so that's the best part. You see, Devontae Adams today was complimenting Tomlin, saying, "Oh, I'd 100% go play for the Steelers. I'd play for Tomlin." And they're like feeding go, "Yeah, the Steelers could have used you. They would have had a chance if you were on their team." He's like, "Yeah, I love Tomlin. Super respectful guy." Oh, he's definitely campaigning, but at the same time,
didn't he say that he'd play for like the Packers too, or something like that?
So it went that he's like, I would play for another team, and the host said, "Oh, rhymes with smackers." So he didn't leave Green Bay like upset, like he left when Rodgers left. He said, I'd return to any team, I returned to whoever needed me and wanted me. And he's like, even if a fan base was upset with me, they don't know what I was going through, they don't know why I left, in the season, blah blah blah. I'm like, he's talking about the fucking Raiders, dude.
Oh yeah,
he's just not saying Raiders.
That.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm good. No, I don't want you back. Like, fuck off. I think you sign somebody like that, you're going to lose a locker room because he seems like a quitter. He's trying to.
I mean, the whole time he was denying, no, I'm here. I want to be here, and then boom, gone.
Boom, gone, yeah. And so this is my favorite part about today's interview. He's like, I like player coaches. I love coaches that respect us and talk to us and treat us like we're not. I'm like, bitch, you had that in AP and you left.
Yeah, so I got my Devontae Adams Funko Pop. I was getting ready to throw it away, but after I heard that interview, I was like, what? Maybe I should hold on to it a little bit longer just in case.
I'm looking for mine. Mine's somewhere over here too.
I got a McFarlane figure too somewhere, but in the meantime, Jake G is a first-time viewer. Raiders, thank you for joining us, Jake.
This is the best Funko Pop right here.
Oh my god,
Antonio!
He got released before it even came out.
Oh my god, that's the cool part. Oh, come on, no, focus, follow me, come on. Thank you. That's the best part because I can do a tour of my room too. I was like looking around. I was like,
no, this camera is great. Like,
what's all the little shit you got in your mantle? Little tiny figures.
Oh, all the bobbleheads.
All the bobbleheads.
Oh, is that what they are? Bobbleheads.
I give you a tour. Hold on. Let me see.
So you're probably going to want to download the app for Insta360 so that you could like just control it from the computer.
Oh, instead of touching it with my hand. So these are all bobbleheads. So most of these games I went to, that is a 1990 Street Fighter arcade. John beat the hell out of me multiple times. I couldn't even come close to beating him.
John, you're good at Street Fighter apparently?
I haven't played in a long time, but I used to be really good.
What are the other 3 games you got over there?
Oh, damn it. Now are you gonna focus over here now? Come on, look at me. There we go. No, over here. Come on.
You have to make a 5.
Really?
Yeah. If you have the tracking on, like the
yeah, the tracking's on, but now it's staying over here.
Does the green light like blink when you do that? Because like, watch, I'll do mine.
There we go.
I turned mine off completely actually because I got tired of. Oh, there you go. Like that's to zoom in and out. Like you make an L, And then the 5, it'll like follow you around, or it's supposed to, but I think I turned mine off because I hate it. Like got me dizzy.
Oh yeah. Okay. How do you do them? This is cool.
L, and then up and down.
You guys are having too much fun.
Fuck you, Campbell. It's not doing it.
Have you seen my baseball? Baseball.
Yeah, you can see all my bobbleheads and
get it together.
Oh wow! The Freak says Sanders boy is in Dallas tonight at the Mavericks game.
Yep.
Man, he wasn't it like the the Las Vegas Aces games too?
Yeah, he's just having his good old time, and you see Dion's getting interviewed by the Cowboys. People are saying Sanders is dropping in the draft boards, man. People are saying he's going to be not a top pick. Like you're seeing that a lot. A lot of tread on a lot of GMs are saying no, he's not a top 10 pick. Now, not saying somebody will grab him, but he might drop. He might be that. There's always that quarterback every year that drops that nobody expects. So he might be it.
The Aaron Rodgers.
It all depends how he does in draft day too. So the combine's going to be highly watched for him. Dart, Moreau. And I told people, Moreau from Bama, that dude at Bama's scout day, you know who he is, the quarterback for Alabama, number 4?
Yeah.
Oh, Jalen Milroe?
Yeah. Guess what he ran in his 40? And at Alabama. Hasn't done it on pro day yet. Just
4 point. Wait, was it high or low?
Oh, he's fast as shit.
4.28?
He ran a 4.3 as a quarterback.
Damn.
At 225, he ran a 4.3. So if he runs that at a pro day, he's gone in the first round. There's without a question. That's Lamar Jackson's speed with 20 pounds on you. Like that's nuts. I believe he's listed at 225. So what is?
Now they used to do the God, what's the name of the Wonderlic test where they'd really
it's like a
kind of see how smart, aptitude, that kind of thing. Are they still doing the Wonderlic?
They do it, but they don't release it anymore because the CJ Stroud incident.
What, did he fail it?
No, he got really, really low on it, and everybody's like, "This guy is too stupid to play football."
That's what they said about Vince Young. I think like Vince Young, like they said he scored a 15, which is like one of the lowest scores ever.
Well, what the fuck did Jamarcus get? -20?
Yeah.
He
cheated
for him.
He
cheated. Oh, somebody else took it for him.
Oh, yeah. We should all take the Wonderlic test and see what we get.
Fuck. Can we get a copy of it? I'd do it.
I'm sure we can. It's been around long enough.
Yeah. CJ Stroud scored 18%.
Oh, my God.
Which was the lowest score of any quarterback in the 2023 class. So, yeah, they were like.
Look up what Jamarcus got?
Yeah, so we can look. There's past scores that they released. So AJ Green got a 10. Aaron Donald got a 25.
Jamarcus Russell reportedly 24.
24%?
Ooh, we got a really good question here. Yeah. How is it being a Raider fan?
Fucking rough. Fucking rough. I ain't gonna lie.
I
love it. I mean, it is what it is. But
I actually found because when I first went to Raider games, I was actually really scared because I was like, man, these fans are crazy, and you didn't have social media like you do now, where you could, well, there was Facebook, but it wasn't in its prime yet, and all you saw on the news is somebody got stabbed at the Raider game, or these huge fights broke out, and people are like, oh, my friend went and he didn't wear black and they beat his ass, and you hear all these stories, and so I'm like, man, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to get my ass beat, so I'm going to be quiet over there. My very first tailgate, I'm cooking at the Black Hole tailgate, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm not going to be very quiet, but everybody is super friendly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it to me, night and day, not even close, between LA and Oakland. LA, when my first Raider game was in LA at the Coliseum, in the prime of all the freaking colors, gang banging shit was popping off hard. then. Like we're talking early 90s. That place was a war zone. I mean, it was.
Oh.
I was a Raider fan, but I watched. There were Donkey fans there with their pumpkin orange jerseys, getting chased out of the Coliseum. Like they couldn't even stay. They're getting pelted with beers and just running. They ran out the stadium, and then the game's going on. I look up and there's dudes doing like gang signs and crip walking and all this shit in the aisles and not even watching the game. You know what I mean? It was a different experience. It's still like cool. I went, but Oakland was way different. The tailgating, the freaking definitely felt more family. Felt more like a family in Oakland for sure.
I remember I mentioned that to like a lot of the people that have been there like forever. I'm like, oh no, Oakland fans are fine. It's the LA fans come up here from LA and they're the ones that give us a bad name.
Bruh.
There was like I think it was like a Monday night game against the Chargers. And while they were kicking the field goal, like the ball's going through the uprights, you could see somebody getting attacked in the stands. But I think that was actually in San Diego, but it was when the Raiders were in LA.
Yeah, no, when the Raiders were in LA, there's a lot of fights in the stands. Like when the Raiders played the Rams, the crosstown games, those would get freaking heated.
Yeah,
it was a different animal then.
All right, there was a thing earlier.
So I was pulling it up. I was doing some dives as you guys were talking. So Jalen Monroe is running as fast as NFL running backs right now. Because they don't have an exact 40 because he hasn't ran it yet, besides in high school and he did the dash, like unofficial. So he's running at 22 to 23 miles an hour. For example, Jahmyr Gibbs runs that fast. So that's how fast he is. He's as fast as an NFL running back. Like one of the top ones. So he's going to be fast. And then I pulled up Wonderlic scores. Of course, the highest was a punter, but of course, Ryan Fitzpatrick has one of the highest scores ever. Jamarcus Russell. So Vince Young got a 6. And Janikowski got a 9. Janikowski got a 9.
Wow.
Terrell Pryor got it's out of 50. This is funny. Frank Gore got a 6.
God.
What Jamarcus get?
I think he got a 24. That's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, so two Raider earlier. I want to go back to it. Ben Johnson, head coach, Robert Saleh, DC, and Joy Taylor, special teams coach. Who?
That's a dream team. That's a dream team right there. Saleh, I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, Saleh's a badass.
He's one of those guys. I don't think he's a head coach. He's top tier coordinator, and he's going to get another chance. But I don't think it's going to go well for him. He's just one of those guys like Spagnuolo with the Chiefs. Amazing coordinator, garbage coach. Like, what is this coaching record? Like 4-14 or something like that.
Like Marty Schottenheimer, like Norv Turner.
Just amazing coordinators. Couldn't do it as a head coach. And he may be one of those guys. He'll get another shot. May not be this year. But whatever team gets him as a defense coordinator, their defense is going to vastly improve, and he's going to be gone in a year or two. I wish we could get him as a coordinator. But he interviewed with us as a head coach, if you guys didn't know that. So not as a coordinator. Patrick Graham's leaving. Has he announced where he's going yet?
No, I don't think the market's very hot for him. Well, I guess the head coaches need to be filled out first. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Patriots, though.
Well, he's got some. He's got interviews booked with. I was looking. He's got them with like the Jets and other people. I think.
Yeah,
Jacksonville. Who knows?
I think for Jacksonville, he interviewed for the head coaching position.
Yeah.
What if they're just like, "Hey, Patrick Graham, we need to fulfill the Rooney Rule. We're interviewing you for the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Knock out 2 at one time." And True Raider said his first game was at the Coliseum when he was 6 back in 1989. Damn.
Against the Donkeys. Yeah, my first game was against the Donkeys too.
My first game was against the Rams. Paul Gunther interviewing with the Bengals. Yeah, that's right. That was the first defensive coordinator position he interviewed for, and before they even interviewed, they're like Patrick Graham would do good in Cincinnati.
So I'm gonna throw some. I've never been high on Patrick Graham. I'm not upset he's leaving. Patrick Graham has never had a top 10 defense in yards, and he's only had a top 10 defense in scoring twice. So he went to Miami, at bottom of the league, went to New York, had a top 10. Then it got worse, and then he got fired. Then he came to Vegas. We had a shitty defense. It got better, and now it got worse. Now he's gone. He doesn't stay in a place more than 2 or 3 years. He's never really had a top 10 DB size with us. Our defense last year was the best defense he's ever had. With New York, they were good, but they weren't great. And with Miami, they were just ass. So I'm not sold on him, man. He's not that good, you know. I don't know why people are, you know, getting it.
No, before Antonio Pierce took over the team, like everybody wanted Patrick Graham fired.
Yeah, and so I told people like he's a mediocre coordinator. He's had great players, and he hasn't been able to do too much with it. But you know, the other thing is he's never had a good rushing defense. He's had one. So with this 2020 New York Giants team, I went over this before. That was the only year he had a good run defense. Every other year than that, it's been garbage. He has shitty run defenses. So, which is like, that's the big deal. You know, that's a coaching thing right there, man.
Yep. All right. Joseph got us a Wonderlic example question. Is the final statement true? All frying pans are yellow, few spatulas are black. A random set of spatula and a frying pan may be comprised
of at least one color.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yes.
I cannot say.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, the answer is yes. It may be comprised of at least one color. Well, of course, it's going to be at least one color, if not two or more. Sure.
I can just see Frank Gore looking at it.
Not visible.
Give me the ball.
And then Mary wants to know what's the feeling on Jack Jones.
He gone. I think he's gone.
So he's still under contract though, right?
No.
I think he has one more year left, and he's like under $1 million.
I'll tell you what, we have a lot of free agents, you know, guys that aren't under contract. Robert Spillane, amongst others, that I mean, until we hire a general manager and our coach, they're kind of hanging in limbo right now, which is
I don't know. Mark Davis is signing players to the practice squad right now. He's making moves.
Okay. Actually, Jack Jones, 1 year. Actually, wow, what a pay increase. $3.3 million. Last year was $985,000. But if they cut him, there's zero dead dollars.
That's
I
don't know. I thought he got better. I thought his tackling got better. He played harder. I don't know. As the season wore on, I thought Jack did better.
I think if he's not your primary corner, like he's your number 2 or number 3 corner, he'll do decent.
Yeah. So maybe a nickel corner, keep him in the nickel situation.
I don't even know if he can play nickel. I mean, at $3 million, you're probably not going to re-sign him. But like, I think you're going to be hard pressed to find another cornerback in free agency for $3 million that is going to be as good
skill
as
level.
Jones.
Yeah. It's thing. So if we drafted, I think we're personally going to draft Will Johnson out of Michigan. He'll be the number 1 corner. Bennett came on, and then you'll have Hobbs as a nickel, and then you'll have Jones as a rotational player, as a third cornerback, slotting in, slotting out. I think that's where he'll excel. Him covering the best wide receiver on the team is not appropriate.
Yeah,
what we want.
And I'm not trying to be mean. Like he plays good. He takes a lot of chances, but you can't do that against elite talent. So if he's covering the number 2, number 3 guy, I think he'll excel because for what he does, I think he's going to be better than most number 2s and excessively better than number 3s. So, but the problem is like, can he make that leap to the number 2 guy? That's where he's going to be competing with Bennett if we draft a cornerback because Bennett outshined him last year. So,
yeah.
And Nate Hobbs is a nickel corner. Nate Hobbs can tackle. That's why they use him as a nickel corner. He's a nickel corner. He's not a number 2 guy. He's a nickel corner, and he's good at it. So it's just maintaining if we retain him or not. We're gonna have some real decisions to do on our defense. You know.
Oh yeah.
A lot of free agents.
How many years have we signed Wilkerson for?
Was it 4?
He was 4. Well, one down now, so he has 3 left.
Yeah.
And any updates on his health? Is he full
Oh,
strength yet?
he's at the games walking around with his family.
Yeah, he was at I saw him at the last game.
Yeah, he was at the last 2-3 games. His family was there. He's on the sideline walking around.
Okay.
Yeah, he seemed fine.
No cast or boot or nothing.
No.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we got Gardner Minshew on the books for 13. I think Andre James is gone. But he's not Andre James not a free agent until 2027, so we're stuck with him.
Dude, we're going to cut bait on Minshew, aren't we?
Oh yeah, we're taking the pay cut there. We're taking the cap hit.
He's not going to be on the roster, please.
Fuck no. There's not a goddamn one.
He's got to go, man.
Yeah. So if we cut him, we get $7 million in dead cap. So we save 6, something like that.
Let me see. Who are you talking about? Andre James?
No,
Minshew.
Minshew.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm looking up Andre James right now because he wasn't. Oh, actually, if you cut Andre James, it's a $7 million cap hit, and you only save $1.4 million.
Yeah, they're keeping him. There's no point.
Yeah.
Let
me see. Gardner
Minshew has.
We got Johnson. We got Johnson at center. We've got our 2 tackles.
The thing is, we have James in our contracts. He had a really good year the year before last.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, he's gonna do better, and he played like shit this year.
We need a guard or 2, right?
Meredith and Parham did pretty well. Meredith kind of came out of nowhere. He went to a small school. He went to Western Kentucky with pretty much a pass style offense.
Mm-hmm.
Western Kentucky throws the ball. So Western Kentucky has all the NCAA records for passing, touchdowns, yards, all that stuff. Bradley Zapp was his quarterback. He just fucking threw the ball 50 times a game. So Meredith is kind of coming into his own. He went to a smaller school, didn't play against really good people, and now he's doing well. So I think he's going to start at a guard next year. And then the minute he moved to guard and JPJ moved to center, they actually held it down. It was pretty much
our line got a lot better.
Most weeks it was JPJ or Meredith with the highest ranked guard or center on our team. Yeah. And then there's a couple times they were top 5 in NFL. I think Meredith PFF was top 10 in the NFL throughout the year. He did extremely well. Colton Miller took a step back, which was kind of.
He started injured, and we had the whole offseason off, so that might have contributed.
Yeah. I mean, he gave up 7 sacks this year. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Ian Rappaport liked my thread.
All right. So people, let's talk about Najee Harris because, we almost had an hour. So Najee Harris, to me, is a bust. He's supposed to be a top-tier talent as a running back, and he never got there. He hasn't had a run over 40 yards in his entire NFL career. He splits carries with a running back that should not be splitting carries with him in Warren. And on top of that, he only averages 3.9 yards a rush. And for his size, he's 250. He's not a red zone running back. He gets maybe 5 touchdowns a year. Somebody his size should have 10 to 15 rushing touchdowns. That shows he's a rotational back. You get him as the primary back, it's going to be Mattinson all over again. He can't break away. He doesn't break very many tackles. He's down on first contact. He never panned out what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a massive power back that can get you 1,500 yards, and he's not that. He's barely over 1,000 every year.
Yeah, he's not Derrick Henry.
No, he's not. He's massive. He's fucking huge. So,
Najee's actually from my area, so he's a big deal out there. And one of the guys I used to work with actually was one of the coaches on the team, and this is way back in the day when I would talk to him all the time, and he's like, "Dude, you know the players' weights?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they say it on TV all the time." And we started talking football, and he's like, "Dude, when my oldest son or my youngest son finishes high school, I'm going to start coaching the team. I want you to come coach with me." He's like, "I don't want to do it now," but he was not the main coach, but he was an assistant coach when Najee Harris was out there. So he goes his family goes to whenever Najee Harris is playing in Vegas, they'll go there. If he's playing in LA, they'll go there. But yeah, I agree with you, even though I do have a soft spot for Najee Harris.
I mean, the dude, you know what he reminds me of? I'm going to give you another Bama back that never panned out, Eddie Lacy. That's who he reminds me of.
Eddie Lacy. I just mentioned him the other day on Threads, actually, because me and this guy were like joking around because it was like, do not like Mark Davis, do not get Aaron Rodgers. Like, do not make that phone call. I was like, dude, you can fire up the band, get Devontae Adams back. I go, maybe Eddie Lacy could come out of retirement.
Quit it. Hey, what about Scatterbro?
I mean, if you could get him, like, I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah, I mean, same thing as him. Not generational talent. He's not going to break things through. Should be a third, fourth round pick, rotational back. Because of his worth ethic, I think he has a possibility to run for 1,000 yards. But I don't think he's going to be that guy.
You don't think he's going to be a guy?
No, he could be a feature with somebody that's going to help him. He doesn't block very well, and he's a power back, but he's only like 215. He's not a massive dude. He's not overly fast. I think he'll be a rotational back, special teams back, maybe a returner. Has a chance to run for 1,000 yards, but over in that, he's not going to be a top 5 back for years. She's back.
She got home early.
Did you wear a Raider jacket in court?
That's all I own.
So, what was the verdict?
What happened?
He said, "What is the verdict?"
Oh, dog sniffs are okay in schools.
Oh, the search dogs. Yeah.
Well, technically, it's not a search.
Oh, you listened to what I was doing.
Yeah, I had to hear her go over this over and over again.
You're getting extra cookies cooked for you tonight. You listen.
I'm basically a lawyer myself.
Fantastic.
You should start a YouTube page. Start an Instagram. I'm basically a lawyer because I'm marrying one, and just answer law questions completely wrong.
Jacoby and Myers, huh?
Free legal advice.
I'm
not a lawyer, so I'm allowed to give legal advice.
That is so funny. You know what? I actually have a question. There's a YouTube page I follow and an Instagram page where the guy says, ask me questions, but it's not legal advice, but he's an actual attorney and he went to an Ivy League school. But he said he's able to do that because it's content and he's basically telling them, do not follow my advice, but I can tell you where you should go. And people will ask him questions and he'll tell them, hey, in this situation, I would do X, Y, and Z. And he does it like at a park in New York.
Wow.
At Central Park. Like, is that legal? Like, to me, I was like, I thought they weren't allowed to do that.
As long as it's like, I think they just have to say this is not legal advice.
Yeah, they make a disclaimer and it's for entertainment purposes only.
It has a sign that says this is not legal advice, but I am an attorney.
So then, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she can't hear anything because it's all in the headphones.
Oh. Yeah.
She's like, But he was saying that there's somebody on TikTok that's a lawyer and they give out legal advice, but they have a sign that says this is not legal advice.
Like they'll say, like, if someone
hypothetically.
Yeah,
pretty much. Basically, people will come up and yell at him, telling him he's breaking the law. Like, that's one of his video he does all the time. Just somebody will come up screaming, "You're breaking the law! You can't give people advice. You don't know the situation." Stuff like that. And he's like, "No, I'm an attorney." He's just like chilling in a lawn chair, like with a sign that says, "I'm an attorney." He has his credentials, but he says this is not legal advice. I'll have to find it. I watch it all the time. It's interesting.
There's that one meme that's out there that's got the guy like at the desk and it's got the sign that says
"Change my mind." That's
whatever prove me wrong.
That's Jason Crowder, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, he's
Josh Crowder, maybe.
So a super Republican guy. Yeah, he goes to campuses and just gets yelled at.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's pretty funny.
Crowder, yeah. Louder with Crowder. That's what it's called. No, I don't listen to it. I just know what it is. I tried. He doesn't interest me. No, but hey, we got a couple events coming up. If you saw, they're having a memorial to Ricky Henderson.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Forwarded that. I'm going to post that on my page if people want to go to it. I went to the Madden one, so did John. Really cool to be in the Oakland Coliseum again.
For the final time.
That's probably one of the last events they're going to have there. Usually they charge an admission fee. It goes the last time I think with Madden it went to charity or something like that.
It was like $15 or something like that.
Yeah, it was nothing, and it was first come first serve, so we all just stormed in and get the front row.
I ran right to my seat, and they're like, that part is sectioned off. I was like, dude, just let me bask in my moment here.
Let me live. And then
112.
Yeah,
That
then they're
was my
doing the
That
commitment
was
to
120.
Excellence Dinner. Are you going to that or no? The CTE dinner?
I think so.
Yeah, I already bought tickets. So I think they're, was it 150, something like that? Pretty cheap.
175, I think.
Yeah, and Max Crosby will be there. So
That's in Vegas.
Wow.
you don't
Where's
know.
that?
They said he confirmed before his surgery.
Oh, he's gonna back out. I'm gonna fight somebody. So but at the CTE dinners in Oakland, they did have a lot of other players like Tim Brown's there, Lincoln Kinney's
Tim
there.
Brown's
So
there all the time.
yeah, it's not like nobody's going to be there, so it'll be fun. It doesn't matter. Max Crosby's never been at any dinner, so I don't expect him to be there. If he is, great. If not, there's going to be other people there, other Raider fans. It'll be fun.
I mean, he did
in
confirm
Oakland?
before the surgery, so he might, but we're not 100% sure.
This is in Oakland or what?
It's in Vegas.
Oh, it's in Vegas. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know when that is. I have to look at the invitation again.
It's February 22nd, I think it said.
Yeah, remember they posted it with the wrong number.
Why?
I called it immediately like that. I called it, and then I messaged the booster club. I'm like, "Hey, you guys got the wrong number. Can I have the right one?" And they're like, "Oh shit, here's the right one." And then I messaged the people that were posting it on X. I'm like, "Hey, that's the wrong number. I know it's not your post because it was the radio hosts," and they took it down. And I was like, because immediately I called.
I messaged the CTE dinner Instagram. No reply.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
because what's his name? The Emilio? I always forget his name. He runs the Tulare, the blood stuff.
Azilio.
Yeah. I always mispronounce, but he runs everything. So I immediately messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, are you running this year?" He's like, "Yep." And he sent me the right flyer. I'm like, "Sweet, thank you."
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I have OCD about that stuff. I like to go to all those events. They're a lot of fun.
It's kind of like downtime right now. Not much to do for Raiders.
I need content. I need stuff to post during the summer.
Well, during the summertime, you'll have like training camp and
if I'm allowed, I don't fucking know if they're gonna.
Well, I think you are now.
Yeah, everybody's gone. Max is so Raider Jesse. Max is going. We signed him up to play with Raider Jesse's team up in San Jose. So I'd be driving out to San Jose 2 days a week to take him to practice. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, damn.
How far of a drive is that?
Hour 20.
Without traffic?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to be traffic, when they're going the opposite way. And we kind of decided, like, okay, there's going to be days we're just going to stay there and drive home in the morning. It's like, hey, you're not going to have school. It's going to be summer ball. You'll have fun. You're going to be playing with some good kids out in the Bay Area. So, do your thing, man. He's like, yeah, I want to do it. I'm like, let's do it. It's a short season, so it'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I want him to get some experience, play against some kids that are better than him.
Good idea.
Yeah, because he was trucking kids in.
He was just boom. I'm like, bro. I was like, I want him because he and I told him, I was like, hey, there was when we were in Nevada. So this is kind of how I explain it. States that don't have NFL teams usually have really good high school programs and college programs because that's all people do there. They just play football. There's nothing else to do. Or they have wrestling. And so some of the kids from the Nevada 10 and under state championship team were the ones that broke my pinata. And there was kids that were max age that were over 100 pounds. And one kid was beating the shit out of the pinata. And I asked, I'm like, dude, how old are you? And he's like a 10 and under all state kid. He's a lineman. And he's like, I'm 9. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, so it was, if you ever, J-Lot Tacos, it was his son. His son is big as him.
J-Lot Tacos is pretty big himself.
Yeah. But his kid's stocky. And he's tall. Like, he's almost as big as his dad. And I saw him. I was like, how old's your son? He's like, 9. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't believe how massive this child was. I was like, it's a grown-ass man. But no joke, he was probably, like, right here. And we're all tall. He was, like, to my chest and just, like, probably 120 pounds. I was like, it's going to be a big kid. Wow. He's like, yeah, he's going to be bigger than me. I was like, that's a massive child. Like, yeah, he plays football. He's athletic. He's one of the best players on the team. I'm like, yeah, because nobody can stop him. Like, but
man,
yeah. So there, you see there was the other funny story. So where Max plays, there's a family out here, and the 13-year-old is bigger than me. So
Wow.
they have a 10-year-old who's like 5'8". The 12-year-old's taller than me. And then the one that plays on that's going up to high school next year is like 6'3". He's taller than me. So two of the kids are already bigger than me, and they're playing Pop Warner. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. What are they feeding these children?
I remember when I was young, they had like a weight limit for like the kids.
Yes. So they don't anymore. So when I played, I was over the weight limit. So I always had to play in the next league up. So on JV and varsity, I was the youngest kid on both those teams until I aged because I was overweight for everybody. Because
Wow.
the weight limit in JV was like 130. And I was over that by the time I was in 6th grade, 5th grade or something like that. So like I had to move up, and I didn't play for like 2 years because I was like 2-3 years younger than everybody.
Damn.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. Now they've got some big old kids out there running around. Like, damn.
Mary's asking, is Jacoby Myers last year, or is he going to be a free agent this year too? He's under contract for a couple of more years.
Yeah. He's what, 28 now? So he'll get a small, probably a 3-year deal or something like that when he's in his 30s, but he's not going to get overpaid because he's going to be on a downward slope. With his contract.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually under contract until 2026.
Oh shit, we got him 2 more years.
Yeah. Wow.
Max is in the last year of his contract, right? This is year 5.
I think his guaranteed money's done. I don't think, which is scary. That means he can be traded.
I would love to hear.
No, Jacoby Myers' contract's up next year. He's getting $14 million this year.
Did I look up the wrong person?
Yeah, I'm looking at Sport Track. I'm in Sport Track too.
No, I'm on Over the Cap. Sports Track has like way too many different things for me. Yeah, they say he's under contract until 2026 on Over the Cap.
Well, that's 1 year. We're in 2025 now.
Well, through 2026.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, Sports Track. Let me see.
Somebody's wrong. Yeah, it does. It says 20. Wait, yeah. Oh, it says it's voided. That's why his contract's voided.
Yeah, Sports Track just has like way too much. I feel like I need like a freaking PhD to understand that website.
So he's on the cap for 2026. So he gets paid. He has a deferred contract. That's what it is. He has a signing bonus. So he has part of his signing bonus for 2 years with us when he's not under contract. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So he has deferred contract. That's all it is. Yeah. So he has a dead cap of $4 million when he's not under contract. So no matter what, he's getting paid $4 million. I mean, at 30, he can sign a 3-year deal with somebody, like a 3-year 45, maybe a 4-year 40.
Yeah. So according to Over the Cap, Max Crosby is until 2026 as well.
Yeah.
But Diablo, that's a good one because he's his free agency is coming up after next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like if he's your star player, you're in trouble. But if he's like one of your like a role player, I guess you'd call him, like it's not too bad.
Yeah. So Max Crosby is paid 27 and 24 the next 2 years, but has 0 guaranteed salary. So they got to get him for 5 or 6 years and give him a shit ton of guaranteed money.
All right. Now I know everybody's gonna get like pissed at the idea, but like and I don't want to do it. I'm just saying, like, if you were to trade Max Crosby, what would you expect to get for him?
2 firsts at minimum.
Minimum. Yeah.
Minimum 2. Because you're going to get generational talent for 3 to 4 years. It depends how much this injury has on him. Even with the injury, he played well. I would say 2 firsts. You get a current first round for the current year. That's going to be a top 10, 15 pick. And then you get another first round and hope that team does bad. And then you probably get a kicker player or a couple late round picks. Again, I said it wouldn't happen this year. It could happen. He could get frustrated with us. And we couldn't get mad at him because we haven't produced a winning team. So that's a scary situation to face. That's going to – you think we hate Davis now. Let Max Crosby leave.
Now, here's my thing is like, I've never gotten attached to players because stuff like this happens.
Mhm.
When they traded Mac, I was like, dude, they actually like it made sense. But then John Gruden screwed that up.
Yep. That was supposed to rebuild our team, and it didn't. Now
Yeah.
all three of those players are gone. I remember it was Farrell,
Well,
Abrams, and Jacobs. All three are gone.
Yeah.
True Raider says, don't bring Mac back.
If he comes on a player-friendly deal, I would not mind having him as a rotational defensive end.
Yeah,
Yep.
like Von Miller.
Yep, and he'll get 6 sacks without even trying. What do you get, like 10 this year? He still has a motor. The speed's gone, but the technique's still there. If he's not the main guy, he can get sacks. So him, Wilson, Chaseon as a rotational defensive ends, like they'll each get 3 or 4 sacks apiece. Maybe 5.
You're gonna fire up the band, bring back Mac, bring back Carr, and bring back Cooper.
Yeah. Bring him out of retirement.
No, they're not retired. They're all free agents. Like this could happen.
You thought Derek Carr wasn't going to cut his contract. He's like, no, I'm not cutting my contract.
Oh, yeah.
So Derek Carr just moved back to California too. He moved back to Fresno.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think he thinks his days in New Orleans are done. Yeah, he donated a bunch of money helping build a church and a community center, which he does that all the time. But he's like, yeah, I'm glad to be moved back to Fresno. And people are like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, I moved back to Fresno.
Wow.
Like, oh, fuck, he's back. So, yeah. I think Wi-Fi Willie would have a wet dream if Carr came back.
Oh, yeah, he would. He would drop his Saints.
Yeah.
Fandom.
I don't know.
Danico Autry.
What Derek Carr's making what, $45 million next year, something like that?
Some ridiculous thing. Danico Autry, he's balling. But here's how I was introduced to Danico Autry. A long time ago, I got a message on Instagram from some lady. She was like, hey, I see you're at training camp all the time, because when it was in Napa and you could just like basically walk in and flash your ticket. And I go, oh yeah. She goes, how's number 96 Autry doing? And like I was like, I didn't really see him very much. And so I like paid a little attention, and I was like, yeah, he seems to be like doing okay. Like she goes, oh yeah, we're together, like, but like, and we'll talk for hours. But I asked him how he's doing on the team, and he's like, I gotta go now. He like doesn't want to talk. So she like really thanked me for it, and like we actually ended up being really cool, like me and his girl. And then here's the fucking wild thing. She's like, oh my God, you're not gonna believe this. My brother got drafted to the Cowboys. I was like, oh, dope! Like, congratulations. And then I go, what does he play? She goes, quarterback. And I go,
Dak?
oh man, yeah, it's Dak Prescott. And I go, oh, that sucks. He's never gonna play, but like that's dope though. And she's like, yeah, he's there. Like that's what's important. And now look at where he's at. But yeah, that was all because of Danico Autry. So thank you, Autry.
Thank you, Autry.
Yeah.
Oh well. So I think we should end it on our predictions for the games. I pull them all up so I get all the teams. Yeah, I mean we get a
Ohio State over Notre Dame.
Yeah, 1,000%. That's already going to happen. So you lock it in.
Notre Dame is like surprisingly good though, but I'm in my football pool. I'm rooting for the Ohio State.
The Ohio. Don't let Charles listen to that.
Yeah,
did you
don't
see
let Charles do that shit.
On Instagram? They have like this thing where it's ESPN is having like this thing where like say some words of encouragement for the two teams, and they're gonna pick somebody to run out the tunnel with them.
Oh, so you can do that at USC. Did you know that?
Yes, I saw the guy that trolled USC.
So I am 1,000% paying to do that next year, and I would have USC shit. I'm running out in OJ gear, man. Like I'll have fake blood on me. I'll call it a day. It'll be fun. But yeah, I saw that. I'm like, how do I buy that? Like, where do I? That is the one request I have for you this summer. Find out who I talk to buy that.
Here's the problem. USC, they will sell their soul. The problem is like it's expensive. They have this club that we can't get into that we've been wanting to get into. And I forgot what, like, we don't even know all the requirements, but we know we can't afford it because we can't even, like, you can't even just go up and be like, I want to get in this club area. You like, you have to be a booster. I think you have to have like a password or something like that.
Password?
Yeah, so it's something wild. Like, you can't just buy a ticket for it. I think it's called the 1892 Club or something. And it's like a nice area, but like, I only saw it on TikTok once. I'm like, how do we get in here? Cannot figure it out.
So it's called the Ultimate Trojan Experience.
Oh, yeah, I bet you it's like
it says $14.50 to $18.50 on the game. Does not include tickets. It does allow Pearson to bring one person with them. And allows people to run out the tunnel. Is that it? Is that all?
$1,450 to $1,850?
Yeah. Is that it?
Really?
$2,000 to run out the fucking tunnel?
That's actually not bad at
It
all.
says no, and this is the quote, no terms or restrictions are mentioned on the, if you had to be a USC fan to purchase. Mott stated in his caption, we 1000% did not expect them for this allow us to participate. That's what the guy said himself. It's probably with the group.
You know, like back in the day when Pete Carroll was the coach at USC, Jem's family got Jem's dad a ultimate like coaching experience. So it's like all these like dads, and they like get off a bus, and it's like Pete Carroll training camp.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, that's funny. All right, let me pull up the games. All right, we'll win the games. I got to get off too. So, Chiefs or Texans? Who's winning that game?
I want to say the Texans. That'll be the Queefs.
Wishful thinking.
The refs,
would be the Texans.
The referees.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to battle the 12th man on the field.
Yeah, Casey,
like literally the 12th man.
Yeah. The Stripes.
I think they're going to win by more than 10.
Yeah, they'll probably smoke them.
Yeah, and then we got the Bills Ravens. Baltimore's only -1 at home.
That is going to be the game to watch.
Sorry, not at home, away.
I like. I think I like Baltimore there. They have better defense.
They do. I think it's Josh Allen's year. I think Josh Allen's going to take over. He's getting favorable calls. He's flopping a lot. He's learning how to work the rest.
He's learning how to Mahomes it.
He is, and he's doing fairly well at it. I think the Bills pull it off. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a field goal.
I think either team could win, but I also think that both teams are capable of just running away with it, where you're like, damn.
Yeah, but, you saw what they did. Derrick Henry did just out of nowhere, like boom, we have 150 yards rushing. And
that's what I'm saying. I like Baltimore just because they're freaking balanced. That running game, that defense.
Yeah, the defense is like the Bills' defense is a little lately.
Oh yeah, they gave up a shit ton to the Rams. Thing is, Zay Flowers I know was out last week for.
He's questionable.
That's not a great thing, but they do have. I mean, they've got two really good tight ends in Andrews and Likely. They're at home. I don't know. It's definitely going to be the best game of the playoffs, I think.
Yeah,
we're saying that now, and then like next week we're like, dude, that game was.
It's going to be 9-6 because
it'll be a dud.
Yeah. No, but like that game, seriously, like I because Buffalo's at home, I'm going to take them.
Baltimore's at home.
But I feel like either team could run away with it, where you're like, damn.
But, no, they're not.
No, it's just at Buffalo. I misspoke.
It is at Buffalo. Okay, yeah.
It's gonna be cold as fuck there.
If it was in Baltimore, I'd take Baltimore, but because it's in Buffalo, I'm basically just taking the home team because like both teams are dynamic and could like destroy anybody at any point.
Yeah. And then we got the Lions, the Commanders. Lions all the way. I think it's going to be a 10, 14-point win for them.
You know, if the Lions lose, we get our head coach a lot quicker.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He can start doing interviews. Speaking of head coaches, how about Jerry Jones fucking himself to where he fired his coach too late, so now he can't interview people?
Yeah.
That is. Yeah, I
Remember
couldn't believe that.
Remember we talked about it? I said, if we're going to know Monday either way about Pierce, even though we waited till Tuesday, but I mean, waiting just puts you behind the 8 ball. We had that conversation.
Yeah.
Ray Jones just fired his coach.
Yeah, what a dumbass.
He didn't really fire him. His contract
They couldn't agree on the
expired,
length of
but he was
contract.
But yeah, he was like not letting him negotiate with other people like the previous week. And we're like, oh, he's going to bring him back.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Deion Sanders called me up and we're good.
Yeah. He's like, prime time. All right. Then we got the Eagles and Rams. Eagles at home. It's going to be cold in Philly. I don't think the Rams have enough talent. I think the Eagles pull it out probably 3 to 5 points.
That is. I underestimated the Rams last week. They're way better than what I thought they were. They're actually
they've got really good offense, a good running back. They got the really good rookie on defense. Defense is coming. They're a pretty well-rounded team, and they're coached really well with McVay.
Yeah.
Eagles have been dominant all year, and with Saquon, I mean, they look like the real deal. But Eagles they tend to lay eggs. You know what I mean? Like they get into situations and they just come out flat. And I could see the possibility for that. I mean, Rams might have another one in them. I don't know. I mean, it's like you say, it's cold. It's Philly. They play ball control.
Saquon Barkley just running up and down the place.
But I'll tell you what, if they make a mistake, if they turn the ball over, I mean, it could, you never know.
Yeah, they don't pass the ball well. That's what can, if they get down, that's where they get screwed over. Because Hurts has not thrown the ball very well this year, which is surprising because he has Barkley. So
the Rams could put up points like way quicker than I thought they could too.
Yeah. Well, a lot of their team was hurt throughout the year, so that's the other problem.
Yeah, well, Cooper Kupp, but I mean, they've got good receivers, with Cooper Kupp, and then they've got what's his face? The Samoan kid is just badass.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
He's dope.
They got a good team, so I think they could surprise some people there.
We actually met the guard, Steven Avila. He's actually really cool. I like him.
Okay. So, yeah, I think the best chance for an upset is probably in that game because whoever wins Baltimore or Buffalo, we can't really call that an upset. That's a coin toss.
Yeah, that's like the Super Bowl right there.
That's a coin toss. I don't see Detroit losing at home. I don't see Kansas City losing at home. Yeah, I think the best bet's probably going to be for the Rams, even though it's not a great chance.
Yeah. No, that game, I don't think the Rams are going to win, but they're far better than I expected. So who knows? Maybe, but I am not going to take the Rams in that game. Yeah, I'll take the Eagles.
I'll take fucking the Texans on the money line. They're going to beat them outright. Let's go.
All right. Well, hey, good podcast. It's nice to go. Well, I gotta go to bed because I gotta wake up early in the morning.
I gotta eat my dinner. I'm hungry.
Hopefully, we get some good news about a coach soon. Well,
if we don't get, isn't it like if we don't get any news, that's good news?
Can they in theory say he's gonna come or no? Because like college coaches, they say, hey, he's leaving, but he's still gonna coach, and that's it.
Well, they can't talk to him. I guess they could talk to his agent.
Well, they did an interview with him, so they're able to talk to him. I mean,
yeah, but it was a Zoom call. It wasn't like a real.
I mean, honestly, I think on the down low, they could say, "Yeah, I'm coming." It's a deal,
I think they could agree.
Working on the paperwork.
I think I read it earlier. They could agree, but they can't finalize.
Yeah, they can't announce it, but in the meantime, the lawyers are working out the details on the contracts. Doing all that bullshit. I guarantee all that shit's happening in the background. Because the second he's available and they can ink him, I mean, he's got so much work to do. They got to hire the whole staff. They've got to freaking sign our free agents. They've got to.
I got the rules right here. The change is no in-person interviews are permitted with candidates who are employed by other teams until after the wild card games have ended. Before the wild card games, in-person interviews can only happen with candidates employed by the team that are not, or that from a team that are currently not employed, i.e., somebody that's fired or not working.
Okay, but it's after the wild card round, so they can do
He's
in-person
not going to
interviews.
come to an in-person interview from Detroit during the playoffs.
No.
That's not going to happen.
But you could definitely see a couple of guys from Vegas flying out to talk with him.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Like, why wouldn't they? If that's your guy, and you want to go get him.
Well,
Fuck, I'd be all over it.
I don't even think. I think it's just agent talk at this point. Like
I mean, it should be. Yeah, the agents go, they meet the fucking, you know.
It doesn't say about announcing hiring or anything like that. It just says they can't do in-person interviews after the first round.
Yeah, I read it. I read this morning. I think it was Pro Football Talk. Like they can't have any meetings, but I'm sure the agent could, because I was like, how could Ben Johnson hype be gaining if they can't talk to him? Like, because there's all these reports of like, oh, Ben Johnson, like to the Raiders is like looking really good and it's building a lot of steam. And I was like, they can't talk to him though. Like all the steam they got would have been like from the interview that they had. Like, where are you going to get more at? But apparently there are some things where they can't talk to him, but they could talk to his agent. They could have an agreement in place, but they can't finalize it until after they lose. So there's like
basically everything but the ink being dry on the contract.
Yeah. There might actually be an instance where somebody agreed and then I'll have to look it up for the next show, but I think somebody agreed and then didn't finalize one time, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Belichick did it to the Jets, and I think McDouchebag did it to somebody too.
Yeah, but like a team that was in this, like in the playoffs still. But yeah, Josh McDaniels did that to the Colts.
Yeah,
and the bad thing about that was, like, his offensive coordinator, not his offensive coordinator, like some of the smaller guys, like below the offensive coordinator, had already signed their contracts and moved to Indianapolis.
Oh yeah, and then he bounced. I remember that.
Yeah. And then it was like kind of awkward, but they told the guys that they hired, like, you know, we'll still keep you guys around. Looks like Josh needs to eat.
Yep. My stomach's hurting.
Ooh,
I'm trying to find the rules on it, but I'm gonna look up the rules. I'm curious. All right. My stomach's growling, man. All right, good night, fellas. I'm gonna enjoy my.
All right, everybody have a good night. We'll see you next
I'm
week.
out.
Unless somebody gets tired and we go live like on demand.
There you go.
And go Raiders!
Go Raiders.